Welcome to STS Presents. I'm Lukas, Siska, and today we're going to discuss how to breathe in freestyle swimming. And for those of you who follow the channel, yes, we've made a video like this before. It had almost 600,000 views. And on that video, I got 400 comments asking me all kinds of different questions to further along your progress in breathing and in swimming. Guys, before you watch this video, you need to watch the previous video so all of this makes sense. I'll put the link in the description. So I thought, why not make a video discussing the most common questions on that video and go into it from here, and then hopefully give you guys more peace of mind when it comes to breathing. Without further ado, get you from feeling like this in the water.
Well done! Well done!
To swimming fast and smooth like this. Alright, so let's break it down step by step. Question number one. I've got a list right here. Let's make sure that I don't forget anything. The most common question that I got on the video was, do you breathe through your nose or through your mouth when you're swimming? And further, the second question to follow up with that is, do you exhale through your nose or through your mouth? And the simple answer to that question is both. You do both. And what you'll find after a while, after you keep practicing those step-by-step techniques that I gave you in the other video, that naturally you start breathing more out of one compared to the other. And what you'll also find is that subconsciously you'll start locking things off in your nose at the right time so that you don't inhale the water. But if you really want to get specific, I personally, when I breathe in, I like to breathe in through my mouth, and then when I exhale under the water, I'm exhaling through the nose as well, and a little bit of the mouth as well. So to answer your question, it's both, but there's a different proportion of nose and mouth, and that's real individual for everybody else. Question number two, let's take a look. What was the second most common question that I got? And the people were asking, how do you not suck in water when you breathe? Well, that's super important because we don't want to be sucking in that water when we're going for that oxygen. But the simple answer to that is that on that video when you were watching the step where I had you doing bobs, that's super important to teaching you how to not suck in water, because every time you dunk yourself under the water and then force yourself to come up in a rhythm, at first you might suck in some water, which that's natural if you're not used to breathing, but eventually you'll train yourself to be able to lock that nose off, lock that mouth off at the right time so that when you come up for a breath, you are breathing it in. And I can't stress it enough. Do bobs and don't try to go and breathe in the normal stroke until you've mastered doing the bobs. Once you can just do them as fast or as slow as you want, that's when you're ready to take that breath and put it into your stroke. So I would highly recommend doing the bobs. And just to reiterate, that is down beneath the water, up above the water. Down beneath the water, up above the water. And as you get better at that, go faster and faster, where you're taking a breath every time you come up and then immediately going back down. Now, one of the more intriguing questions that I got, and this was quite common, is that people were asking, whenever they go for a breath, their head starts to sink even before they get their mouth up there to get a breath. And this is tricky, and I'm well familiar with this when I'm working with my athletes. All right, what you need to do in this case, well, first of all, what is happening is that when you go for the breath, your stroke is not generating enough momentum that when you go for the breath, everything is just sinking right away. But a key element in swimming is to glide. And if we can generate in every stroke enough momentum when we go for a breath that we're just gliding along the water, our body is at the surface, we don't have to do anything, and our head is floating and we can get that breath in. So I'm going to tell you a crucial drill that can help you and teach you how to add that shoulder hip drive, because the shoulder hip drive is what's going to generate momentum. And that drill is called the human drill. And then once you master putting this momentum in together, you'll be able to lift up your head for a breath and not have it sink. The other part of this question was that people said when they put their arm up, it starts sinking when they're not holding on to that kickboard like I had in the steps of the previous video. But some people were saying when they were trying to hold the kickboard and practice the breath, they were able to do that. But as soon as they took the kickboard away, they weren't able to do that anymore. So that's what this drill is all about. As soon as you can master this drill, it will be a lot easier to go for that breath without your head sinking. And I also want to add, doing the catch-up drill is a very crucial drill in teaching you how to generate momentum and gliding along so that your head and your body doesn't sink when you reach out for the breath. And I'm going to show you both of those drills right now. Here we have the human drill. Here's my athlete driving from one side to the other while keeping the arms underneath. You're going to see her go for a breath. Bam! She went for it with the glide. She was able to keep her head up. Here's myself doing it underneath the water. You can better see that shoulder hip drive gliding along. Fins would be very helpful in this drill as a beginner. Now here's the catch-up drill. Again, we're just trying to generate momentum as we go for the breath. You can notice that the arms and the head are staying afloat when I breathe. Fins would be very helpful if you're a beginner. Can't say that enough. And finally, one of the questions that was coming up quite frequently, which surprised me, is that people are asking if they're a person who takes multiple strokes before they take a breath, say they're breathing every 3 or breathing every 5, are they supposed to just exhale the entire time? Because in the previous video, I said, of course, breathe in and then exhale under the water so that you're ready for your breath as soon as you turn your head for the breath the next time. Well, the answer to that question is if you're taking multiple strokes before you take a breath, no, you do not have to exhale the entire time while you're waiting up for that next breath. But it's important that before you turn your head for that breath, that you exhale all the water so that when you are going to breathe, you're not exhaling and breathing at the same time. And this is a big mistake that a lot of beginners make, is that they try to exhale and breathe in the air at the same time, and it's in that small window of when they went to go and take a breath. And this will just most likely cause you to suck in the water that's right there close to your mouth, and that'll throw off your stroke, throw off your rhythm, and we just don't want that. Another thing I want to add to that is if that you're taking multiple strokes as a beginner before you take a breath, this is not necessarily the easiest way to find a proper rhythm in the front crawl stroke. I would say initially when you're a beginner, breathe every other stroke, breathe every 2. So it literally looks like this. Take a breath, go back down. Take a breath, go back down. Take a breath, go back down. What we want in swimming when you're new to it is to find a rhythm. And if you're taking too many strokes before you take that breath, you're just not learning that yet. That's more of an advanced technique. I'm not saying that bilateral breathing is bad, just in the beginning it's really important to keep things simple. So guys, I hope these answered some of your questions. I hope this gives you some more insight into freestyle breathing. If you have any more questions in regards to this topic, please leave them in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. I'm so excited to be back and making videos. We're going to try to crank them out for you on a regular basis. Until the next video, take care for now, and we'll see you next time.